edition. Creature feature after the credits. We'll break down the goriest and the scariest movies, including our favorite scenes, quotes, trivia, and even our favorite death. Stick around to see who lives and who dies.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to After the Credits with Tyler, being joined by some awesome fucking people. They're all right, I guess. I mean, Dylan, awesome people.
Oh, no, my fucking heroes.
Aw.
I mean, I've never had a brother, so
Like
I'm
their
always
heads weren't big enough walking into this fucking
existential, like consistent search for a brother, and all three of you.
We've got Rob and Kyle from Whitmore.
Hey, everybody.
Joining us again.
Hello.
This is your second time. We
We had so much fun the last time, so we had to come back.
This is post the After the Credits cherry pop that we did with you guys. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you are coming back for another session.
And here's the thing: this is the first time we've had a repeat guest.
Really?
Is it?
Oh,
That's an
well,
honor.
maybe if we actually do the Martyrs episode, we'll have a three-peat guest.
Wow.
Is it the first
Yeah.
time?
It is. I mean, I think about all the guests we've had. Have they been back? Isaiah's
shit.
never been back.
Holy shit! This is the
You have
first
such
time.
nice hospitality. You had to
We
come back.
are
Thank you.
making history, and then we've got another very special guest, Josh Peterson, as well.
That's
Joining
my
us.
hero. He's my hero.
Aww.
Yeah. Shout out to Josh.
Josh, thank you so much for
Right before
coming.
we get this started.
But the reason, well, other than these guys are good buddies of ours, but the main reason we're having them on again is it's the Halloween season, it's spooky season, so we're going to talk about some horror movies. But we also have Fright Night 7 coming up, a show being put on by our very own lovely, sexy man, Josh Peterson. So if you didn't get a chance to hear what the previews episode, what the Fright Night information is, first of all, you fucked up by not listening to the previews episode. You go back and do that if you can. But to fill you in, there's a kick-ass concert coming up the end of October.
3 nights.
3 nights of killer fucking bands, all Halloween themed, costume contests, prizes, drinks, fun stuff. Candy.
Hell yeah.
Join us for that at Maloney's in Council Bluffs. But yeah, so we want to have these three guys on to talk about some movies and to just overall chill and have a good time. So the first movie that we're going to talk about tonight is I was going to say a cult classic, but this is not a good fucking movie.
No one claims this.
No one
movie.
claims this is a cult
Look,
classic.
it's
yeah.
almost as bad as Manhattan.
Almost. Oh, dude. Freddy or Jason Does Manhattan? Is that
Yeah,
what it was called?
Dude, and
he
here's
has
the
a
thing,
fear
I
of
don't-
fucking water.
Water.
Yeah.
And he's taking...
Well, and I'm sure Tyler will have some
Manhattan.
trivia along with the water fear, water fearing Jason.
Yeah.
But
We're doing Freddy versus Jason, by the way. If that just to let you guys know what the movie is that we're actually doing and why we're talking about Jason as well. But Freddy versus Jason is the movie that we're doing. But Dylan, what were you
Yep.
going to say? Water trivia.
Well, before that, I was just going to segue into the movies that came out in 2003. I mean, this movie, you say it's bad, and it goes along with Jason Manhattan. I disagree, because Jason Manhattan, that nothing notable about that. It's just Jason going to Manhattan. This is Freddy versus Jason. I mean, fucking huge.
Listen,
Yeah.
This
Look, it was
movie-
in the works for
regardless-
like 18
regardless-
Fight
years.
scenes were a lot of
12,
fun.
Yeah.
12 years.
Regardless of anything with the movie, the fact that it's titled Freddy vs. Jason and has Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees in it, that alone, cult classic.
So
remember
that's the
Fucking
reason.
awesome.
So that's the reason why it did so
Thank
well.
you, Kyle.
So that's the reason why it did so well in the
got
box
you.
office
You got
when
me.
it did come out, is because of the name and that's the reason I went and saw it. I was like, oh my god, two of the best and two of my favorite slasher,
Monsters.
serial killers, monsters
Icons.
fighting against each other. Let's fucking go. And then when
Right.
I was 13 and I saw it and I was like, yeah, it's fucking cool, man, because I was 13. And then when I saw it 2 days ago, I was like, wow,
This is
this
trash.
is fucking awful.
Okay, and now
Age.
ask yourself,
It's a
if we're
20-year-old
going
movie.
into it, do you think this movie was marketed and they were shooting for the target demographic for 30-something-year-old
Yeah.
men.
I think it was marketed toward people because it came. I mean, these movies started in the '80s, so I think it was
Yeah.
marketed towards people who grew up watching those movies. So
Right.
at that time, they would have been 30 plus years old.
I don't think so.
Well,
I
let's
think
see.
it was marketed towards
Teens.
And
Teenage
it might have been.
boys.
It might have been.
to
there's-
get them to go back and watch.
It kind
Now-
of got everybody though, because it's like at the time a 20-year-old
Yeah.
set of characters, and
Yep.
then now we're watching it back
Because it was an
40-year-old
American
characters.
Pie.
I don't think
was
that it was-
post-American Pie horror movie, like the Scream movie. But then also, I mean, I look around and I'm seeing you guys, and I feel like most of you, when you guys watched it for the first time, you were like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, like I said, when I was 13, I fucking dug this
You
movie.
just watched this, Josh?
For the first time today.
Oh,
That's
poor
an
Josh.
interesting
Okay.
perspective.
Yeah.
Poor
Okay.
Josh. That's good though, because it gives us like the perspective from a guy who had never seen it before, who didn't see it when they were 13,
love that.
14 years
I love
old.
it.
So the synopsis of this movie, if you didn't fucking guess by the goddamn title, Freddy Krueger's been forgotten by the town that he terrorized, so he calls on Jason Voorhees to bring him back from the dead to return and help teenagers of Elm Street remember him, because in that time frame, the only person who was killing the way that Jason was killing, or that Jason kills people, is Freddy Krueger. So when Jason starts to kill the teens and make people think that it's Freddy that's doing all these kills, he starts to steal kills from Freddy. He gets a little salty, and then they turn on each other in a pretty. And if there's one thing I will give this fucking movie, is that final battle was brutal and was the quintessential quintessential like portrayal of the type of battle I wanted between these two characters. It was
whole
fucking.
movie
It was.
builds up to that.
It builds up to
Yeah.
that. It was a trash build up, but when it got to that fucking crescendo, to that epic finish, I was like,
That was
okay.
that like gasoline light right there.
They've been
man.
pouring gasoline the entire film, and then they light it the last 20 minutes of it, and the last 20 minutes are fucking great. They're absolutely phenomenal. But
I mean, to be fair, they were kind of pouring water and calling it gasoline,
I'll give you that.
and then all of a sudden it was like, all right, maybe we have a little kerosene here. And sprinkle it in.
Right, yeah. There was an oil spill in this water, and we're
Yeah.
able to finally ignite it.
Yeah,
I
like
think
in
it was-
Dylan's driveway.
Nice and ready to go.
Yeah. So this came out in August 15, 2003. Dylan, what movies were out in 2003?
2003. So I'm gonna go first before I'm gonna do horror movies last.
Okay.
Because I feel like it was a pretty decent year for horror.
That was a good year for horror movies.
I'm drawing a blank on other ones, but let me hear.
Over
'em.
here.
So and I've said this 1,000 times. Like this era of fucking movies. Like I was 14 years old. So I mean, it was when I was able to go to like movie theaters.
I was working at
with
AM
my friends and shit.
I was
Sneak
working
in
at
the
AMC
R-rated
theaters at the time, and I was able to
Oh,
see movies
nice.
for free.
Yeah.
So this was when I was really in
That was
to
the hookup right there.
Like,
yeah, dude.
The early 2000s, like 2000, 2001, 2002, all the way up to like 2005, was the like beautiful rebirth
Yeah.
of horror movies.
Not even just
Yeah.
horror movies either. Like there was really good films, not
Yeah,
horror.
So
genre,
and that's the
like
first one.
Sam
is
Raimi's Spider-Man
Underworld.
movies. Who?
Underworld.
Yeah,
Like the
Dude,
fucking
I love those
quintessential
movies.
fucking
Those are so
movie.
fun.
Yeah, dude. what's? Oh my god.
And then
No,
Lee.
no. I gotta remember her name
okay.
because I fucking love her so much.
Oh,
Kate Beckinsale.
There you go.
Let's pour one out for Kate.
So
God damn, I
hot.
love that woman
Want
so
to
much.
touch the everything?
And that's another series of films, Underworld series that kept going and were solid until they stopped.
Yeah.
Those were
Yeah.
still great. The last one that I saw
But
was
then-
still fucking great.
But then also, and I'm not saying that they were good, but it was like kind of the birth of superhero movies.
Yeah.
Because that's when
Spider-Man.
the Hulk came out.
the Sam Raimi Spider-Man as well.
Yeah. But like the
X-Men?
original, just Hulk X2 came out. Daredevil.
Yeah. Ooh. Ben
and then
Affleck. Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Hot
And some
take,
of-
I like that movie.
It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. it's the first time we got to see
Electra.
on-screen
I remember
Daredevil.
going to theaters for Cheaper by the Dozen with Steve Martin and fucking Hilary Duff.
Yeah.
You might have been
Hillary
the only
Duff
person
was
to go to
hot
the
back
theaters
then.
to see Cheaper by
You
the
said
Dozen.
was?
I mean,
That's like a
if you're
family movie night movie.
I mean,
Right.
I won't say she's
and
not
I went
now,
with
but
my
a
family.
little
So
against my taste.
Makes
sorry, I have a family, Tyler. And
gonna hold that against you.
Anger Management
Dude,
came out.
Anger Management with fucking Jack
hilarious.
Nicholson
And
and
then
over easy.
I think it's considered a cult classic at this point, but Old School with like Will
Yeah.
Ferrell.
dude.
The
Holy
tank.
shit! 2003 was stacked.
you,
Yeah, do you remember Kangaroo Jack?
Yes.
Oh,
I do.
God.
I remember.
I mean,
Was that
that came out.
2003 too?
Yeah.
Malibu's Most Wanted.
Oh,
Not
Jesus.
saying it was a good
That's a
movie,
good
but
song.
everyone
Pull out your
fucking
gat.
yeah,
That's a
but
good Comedy
everyone
Central
fucking
on-
So
Late
shout
night
out to
movie.
my brother Logan. Whenever I watch a movie and I really like it, and then my brother's like, "Nah, it was trash." I'm like, "Bro, you fucking love Malibu's Most Wanted. Your opinion on movies does not matter to me whatsoever. You're a fan of Jamie Kennedy. Get the fuck
He
out of here."
dresses like that's one of his favorite movies.
Yeah, Logan is the guy from Malibu. What was I don't remember the name of the character, but he was Jamie Kennedy. He is Jamie Kennedy in
Yeah.
Malibu's Most Wanted.
Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King came out, so I know one person who saw that.
Who?
There was a lot of walking
who
in
would that
that
be?
film.
There was a. What'd you just say?
A lot of walking.
Yeah, it was a walking sim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding.
All right, so then
One of the greatest
like-
films ever made in cinematic history.
it was.
we have
All right,
a
hot take.
Stephen,
I've never seen any
we
of
have a
the Lord of
Stephen
the
King
Rings.
movie that came out.
We will not do Martyrs until you sit down and watch Lord of the Rings with me.
Okay, fine.
Dreamcatcher
Okay,
came
fine,
out.
as in then I'm not doing
Old
Martyrs.
Boy
Okay.
came out. I don't know. Have you guys seen Old Boy before? It's like one of my favorite fucking
Old Boy.
thriller movie. Yeah.
Oh, no, who's in it?
It's I don't know, Asian people.
Okay.
It's an Asian movie. What?
No, I didn't. I didn't expect you to
Yeah,
be like,
that
it's an
was-
Asian movie.
that was
and,
That
and
tracks.
two-
I mean, you can
So-
basically blindfold
and
Dylan
then-
with
and
dental
here,
floss.
And here's where, and I'm gonna announce these in order that I want to. So the horror movies. You have Scary Movie 3.
we were just talking about Scary Movie on the way over
Yeah.
here.
Can
And
we
I
call
think
that a
it's-
horror movie though? Like realistically,
Not really,
So it's
probably not.
definitely
But I'm gonna put
it's
it
a
in there
horror
comedy.
because I
Yeah.
feel like
So-
these movies that I'm getting ready to say, like that it goes in with
So here's-
Freddy versus Jason because
Like
it's that
big.
generation of
Right.
horror.
So here's my only commentary on, and I apologize, Dylan. My only commentary on Scary Movie 3 is the first two Scary movies were fucking great because they were rated R. Scary Movie 3 was the first one that was rated PG-13 and started the whole genre of like the mock movies, the movies that came out that like there was Meet the Spartans that they did that
the
made fun of
spoof
like the
film.
the spoof films that so Scary Movie 1 and 2 fucking phenomenal. Scary Movie 3 was the first one that went PG-13. I still saw it and I still enjoyed it, but it was the beginning of the decline of that genre or of that I guess film series. Anyway, go on to the next
Are
one.
we
That was my only
reviewing
commentary.
Scary Movie 3?
Oh, wow.
I thought we were
Oh,
doing.
wow.
That was a tangent.
Oh, wow.
I was here for it.
I'm just fucking with you. If you feel that strongly about it, I want to hear that shit.
There's very few things I feel as strongly about as the
So
Scary
then,
Movie franchise.
another really good horror movie that came out that year, Gothica.
Oh, Halle
Oh
Berry.
God,
Uh,
yeah,
Halle
Halle
Berry.
Berry. That one
Final
was a mind
Destination
trip.
2, Jeepers Creepers 2.
Hey, if you have a chance, go back and listen to the episode of Jeepers Creepers that we do, talking
Yeah.
about how shitty that director was as a human being.
Yeah. And then we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Was that the Jessica Biel one?
That was the reboot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the
Yeah.
one with Paris
Which
Hilton?
wasn't terrible. No. That was House of Wax.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Jessica Biel.
was the Jessica, but
Hot
unpopular
take. I
opinion,
enjoyed
wasn't
it.
bad.
And then the
It
last
was-
one would have been House of a Thousand Corpses, which we also
Fuck,
did.
yes.
Iconic.
I got some juicy trivia for you involving
I'm
House
ready.
of a Thousand Corpses with this movie.
I'm ready for it.
Dude,
So,
and we also, that's another one we talked about. If you want to
It
go back
is.
and
And
listen
they
to
are
that.
doing a 20-year screening.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Where and when?
I don't remember.
oh
where.
shit! This is the 20th anniversary of Freddy vs. Jason. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's fucking wild.
That's why we did this.
Oh,
Yeah,
Explain.
I mean, of course
Explain
it
it.
is. I mean, of course it's the 20th anniversary.
Nailed it.
But yeah, so so it had some stiff competition for horror movies. Like it was a good year for horror movies and cinema in general. So the fucking Return of the King. Anyway, it was a great year for films. So box office wise, just to kind of this was directed by Ronnie Yu. He did this was his first horror movie, but he did other horror movies after this. I'm drawing a blank as to exactly what they were, but there were some horror movies that he did that were pretty well received. I'm pulling it up right now. He did Bride of Chucky. Okay. And goddamn, there was some other ones. Fearless. Where's it at? Sorry, I apologize to everyone. Yeah, Bride of Chucky's the only one that he did that's worth a shit. So and that wasn't even that great. So this movie had a box office budget of $30 million. It grossed in U.S. and Canada $82,633 or $633,000 for 400. Okay, it grossed a lot more money than it was than it had for its fucking budget. So, and I think I guess maybe hot take, like that's because of the name. The name is what pulled people into the box office to see this fucking movie. Opening weekend and gross worldwide was $116,643,421. So it made well over what the fucking budget of it was. And again, like I think you can't tell me there's a single person who grew up in the 80s that watched all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies and all the Friday the 13th movies that saw the title Freddy versus Jason and weren't like, I don't give a fuck what's going on in this movie. I'm going to see that.
Right.
I'm going to see that movie. I was one of those people.
To throw in like quick trivia, if you look at the very last Jason, 1987, Jason Goes to Hell, look at that very last end scene where Freddy's hand pulls Jason's mask down. People had been waiting for this movie for
Since the 80s.
16 years.
The writing
16
on it,
years.
The writing on it started back 12 years before the movie came out. So 16 years was when it was teased. The writing of the actual script started 12 years before the movie actually came out.
And it went through 3 different drafts.
Bro, how do you... Yeah.
Dude, I'm a fucking nerd for when it comes to like Freddy and Jason.
Yeah, dude, insane, bro. That's what is... And dude, I don't know if you got... And I'll get to it a little bit in the trivia, but I don't know if you knew what like the previous scripts
Trash,
were. But they were fucking... One of them was like Jason gets apprehended by the police and is put on trial, and it's about his fucking like defense lawyer in the like it sounded fucking terrible.
It essentially was the I don't want to say prequel. It was the prologue for Jason X at that point.
Right. Yep. And
when
then
hockey ended up getting outlawed, Jason Goes to Space.
yeah,
Quality,
fucking insane.
quality writing.
And there's also more in trivia about the upcoming what's going to be happening with Friday the 13th and Jason coming up, which there's going to be some new stuff coming, which I'm always fucking excited to see new adaptations of these types of movies. So let's talk about the cast a little bit. It's great because you got Robert Englund coming back as Freddy Krueger, the only person I feel like that should be playing Freddy Krueger until they cast someone who's better with his mouth. That's weird. Who
do you think from current actors would be a good Freddy Krueger? Just out of curiosity.
That's a good question. And I
mean, Seal doesn't really need a mask.
That's fucked. That's fucked. You're a horrible human being. Shame. Honestly, man, the only person I can think of, which precursor to the other movie we're going to discuss, is Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård, I think you put him in the makeup, he could be creepy enough and funny enough.
His brother, who is the one who played Loki in Vikings.
Is
the other Skars? It was another Skarsgård brother.
No, it's not Liam. It's yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
he would have probably been great too.
Sick fucking.
Do you have anyone you think that might be? I really don't want to.
I was just curious.
I have a couple.
I really don't want to talk about the pretty boy like Ryan Reynolds, but
James
like
McAvoy
he's got really good one-liners, and I feel like have you guys seen him in Amityville Horror? That dude can play a fucking creepy psychopath really well.
Dude,
who would you think for?
Crispin Glover.
Who?
Oh, that'd be
because he can be eccentric, and I don't feel like he's too old.
Yeah, what else has he been in?
I don't know.
One of the Charlie's Angels. He was the one that was like all about the hair.
Yes.
He took pieces of hair and then sniffed it and was like, ah.
Yeah, he's always such a creepy guy.
Yeah,
Another cool thing.
That's a good call, Dylan. Well done.
Thank
That
you.
would be great.
I was thinking like because you have to be. If you're gonna play Freddy, you got to be eccentric. You got to be like crazy. Also, Joaquin Phoenix, I feel like he could fucking do it.
You're crushing him.
Cillian Murphy, who played fucking Scarecrow in the Dark Knight film. In Batman Begins and Dark Knight.
He would be good too.
He'd
be really
and in
fucking
Oppenheimer,
good.
yes.
And his fucking eyeballs, like, don't edit his fucking eyeballs.
Yeah.
So, to go back to Crispin Glover, and this is a selfless plug on this one.
Who? Wait, what?
So Crispin Glover, he actually played
lead guitar in Whitmore.
No.
We have a lead.
Shit job. Good question.
He's actually going to show up at Fright Night 7, which is fucking wild. He's going to
God, I hope so. I hope our lead guitarist shows up at Fright Night 7.
I was talking about Crispin Glover, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm busy, so I hope you can make it.
Anyways, what I was trying to say,
Josh is like, I cannot confirm this.
is that Crispin Glover actually played I forget his first name, but Reed from the Donner and Reed Party in a documentary.
Oh, fuck.
And we also have a song called The Indifferent Stars Above, Donner Party of Two, which
Hell yes.
is on our
That's fantastic.
is on our album.
Look at this
Cannibalism.
tie-in.
It's all coming together.
Was there another person that you had? You said him and
The only one, because I was thinking like a younger actor,
Right.
Is what's the kid's name? Latasha's gonna kill me. The kid from American Horror Story. He was also in
oh my
X-Men.
god,
Evan Peters.
Evan Peters. Yeah.
So
I feel like because we've seen him be
Dahmer.
crazy.
Yeah, we saw him as Dahmer. We saw him
And
as the
Dahmer,
crazy fucking characters he
And
plays
maybe-
in
and
AHS.
maybe because
your
he
wife
did-
is unfortunately not in here while we're talking about the AHS character.
And maybe,
I love him so
and maybe
much.
because he's done like a famous serial killer, like maybe he wouldn't be
Yeah.
a good
I
one.
heard that role
So-
really took it out of him.
And
Though,
I was just gonna
Oh,
say he
yeah.
did come forth like within the past few days and was like, yeah, I'm taking a break from those dark roles. He's like, hey, if Marvel is like looking for someone, hit me up. He's like, but I'm taking a break from those dark
I
roles.
wonder if he'll be in
because-
the Deadpool movie.
Maybe we might.
That'd be a good
That'd be
casting.
We saw him show up in WandaVision as Quicksilver, so hopefully he'll be. Dude, it looks like they're pulling everyone from every Marvel movie that's ever been fucking created to be in the new Deadpool movie.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
as
fucking
they
great.
should.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So Robert Englund, I mean, he made the character of Freddy what he was. Robert Englund would, and say what you will about. The guy who played Rorschach, who was in the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street and played Freddy Krueger, it was fine. It was great.
I don't think the acting was bad. I think it was just the
I think-
makeup CGI.
It was ridiculous. But I feel like it was if this movie, if they announced that Robert Englund was not coming back as Freddy Krueger, I wouldn't have seen it. Even in my young age of not giving a fuck who was casted, if they're like it's somebody else playing Freddy Krueger, I wouldn't have
been
seen
that
it. Yeah,
guy.
I wouldn't. I would.
I wouldn't be the no.
I'm too snobby, bro. I'm like, if I'm gonna see Freddy Krueger and it's not the original guy playing Freddy Krueger, I'm out, dog.
There's a lot of people like that. I feel like.
I'm not.
So
I
it's
wouldn't.
like the credibility factor to them.
to
Rob,
be
you're a
fair-
big horror fan as well. Like, would you, if they announced Freddy versus Jason, they're like, yeah, Robert Englund's not gonna play Freddy Krueger. Would you have been like, I would have been like, fuck this movie.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have gone. And
Yeah.
the main reason being is because this was like supposed to be canon.
Right.
And with that, it's like, all right, you need to have the Freddy Krueger. Now, Jason's had 3-4 different actors play him.
The guy who plays him in this movie is not a guy that's ever played Jason before.
Exactly.
So,
However, there is a cameo from
Yeah.
Kane.
yeah,
Okay.
there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the cameo from Kane is on TV behind
Okay.
He's like a
Okay.
newscaster or some shit, or
But the
weatherman
guy-
or some
Yeah.
shit on TV
Who-
behind him.
the guy that played
You're just
Jason.
taking all my trivia shit and you're like, let's fucking spit it out right
Yeah.
now.
Showed up your
Dude,
ass.
I'm awesome at that.
Yeah.
the guy
my name.
that did play Jason though, and you could really see it in the same scenes where he's with Freddy. I mean, the guy is fucking massive.
Yeah.
and that's the thing.
5'7", or sorry, 6. 5'7".
Yeah, he's almost
He's
7
1
feet
inch
fucking
taller than
tall.
my short ass. No, he's
And
6'7".
that is the reason that they cast him is because they needed someone to tower over.
Right,
Exactly.
and that's what when I think
was the
of
tallest-
Jason Voorhees, I think of a fucking monster.
Yeah.
like a guy that like you look up to.
It's
and
gonna be
run.
hilarious.
I do
seeing
look
me-
up to Jason
It's gonna be hilarious seeing
on a
me
personal
show.
level.
It's gonna be funny seeing me show up to Fright Night as Jason and seeing Dylan tower over me as Freddy Krueger. It's gonna be fucking hilarious.
world.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
our costumes, Tyler and I, we're gonna be Freddy and Jason.
He's got the actual Freddy glove with the knives on it here. Yeah, so it's gonna be fucking sick. It's gonna be great.
Sounds like a good night.
Yeah,
pay
like-
extra for that.
Yeah,
in
maybe you
Vegas.
should fucking show up to it. So we got Ken Kersinger.
I can't. I'll be on tour.
Hey, you bum. Ken Kersinger is the guy who played Jason Voorhees. Like I said, 6'7", fucking towering monster. You've got Monica Keena who plays Laurie Campbell. This was kind of supposed to be her big breakout role to get her started in as a Scream Cream and Scream Queen.
Scream. I mean,
cream
I did
queen.
cream to
A
her.
Cream Queen, yeah, she's pretty. She's a dog shit actress, but she's pretty. She
Look, you don't need to be a good actress for porn.
no, or apparently for Freddy and versus Jason.
Close enough.
You've got Jason Ritter, who is actually he's been in other things as well, but he played Will Rollins. more known as he's a voiceover. He does voiceover for certain animated TV shows. Kelly Rowland from what is the
Destiny's
group?
Child.
Destiny's Child.
Bro. Okay, so fun fact. A little
She
bit of
actually,
She-
and
She
I
wasn't
can't
terrible.
say this about too many of the fucking characters.
Yeah.
Like the actors and actresses in this movie, she actually did a really fucking good
She
job.
wasn't
Yeah.
terrible.
Dude, she was my hero in that movie because she just fucking squared off.
She did. She
Yeah.
stood up to Freddy and was like, "You a bitch." And
Yeah.
it was fucking great. But so, fun fact, a little bit of a tangent.
That's one of my favorite parts, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great.
know we're gonna
that's a
get to
great
that,
bit.
but-
yeah, for sure. Kelly, so Destiny's Child. I'm pretty sure we're all a bunch of metalheads, right? My first album, CD, physical CD that I ever bought in store with my own money was Destiny's Child Survivor.
Nice.
That fucking album
Nice.
slapped dick, dude.
That's
it was
respect.
so fucking good.
You wanna
Mine was
hear
Backstreet
you
Boys Millennium, so I
Nice. My
I
second
feel
was
that.
NSYNC's No Strings
You want
Attached.
to you want to hear my claim to shame?
I do so bad. Nickelback, please.
No, dude,
You want it
I'm
so bad.
well older than you.
No, you're. How old are you?
38.
Okay, you're older than me.
Yeah,
Let's hear it.
Yeah, what is it? Tell me.
Will Smith, Big Willie style.
Bro, high
Yeah.
five it up here, dude. No shame in that. Keep my
That's a good
Destiny's
album.
Child name out your fucking mouth.
On cassette.
Oh my god.
Ooh, flex.
It's past your bedtime.
Dude, what time is it?
You
No,
need
it
to
really
be-
is. It
yeah,
really
you need
is.
to take your Metamucil and clock out, dog.
Dude, I need to
Go
take
to
my
sleep.
Metamucil and
Adult
fucking
diapers.
anti-killy meds.
Right.
Ibuprofen for
So,
your
so,
knees.
so Kelly Rowland as Kia was great. Catherine Isabel as Gib.
Oh, my favorite Scream Queen.
Do you like her?
Oh God, I love her.
Ginger Snaps, bro.
Ginger Snaps,
Yeah.
Ginger Snaps 2. She also
Insomnia?
played in Insomnia. And then
Nine
she
of the
was,
Animated Dead. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but she was the Barbara voice in. Yeah, dude.
but she was also in The Order, which was a series
I've never seen that.
on Netflix. Oh my gosh,
Okay.
she aged like fine wine, and I'm talking like I don't like grape juice, but I'd drink her up.
She did a little bit in the show Psych. I don't know if anyone ever watched the show Psych, but she was in that a little bit. Funny little show. We've got Christopher Marquette as Charlie. I liked his character because he was kind of the nerdy kid who was trying to get up the courage to talk to the pretty girl. And then he finally just like to
I relate
Kelly's
to him.
character. Yeah, shut up. To Kelly's character, he just like she was giving him shit the whole time, and he stood up to her and basically told her like, "You're a fucking bitch, dude. Shut up." But I like his character. He kind of comes into his own and becomes a badass at the end.
Like I said, I relate to him.
Yeah. Okay.
I was always the nerdy kid trying to talk to the girl, and then I told her she was a bitch, and I became a badass.
Look, see, perfect.
Fuck yeah.
So
Fuck yeah!
a little
You don't
tie-in,
get a voice like this by not drinking and smoking.
so a little tie into the old Jason, the old Friday the 13th. No, what am I talking about? The old Nightmare on Elm Street films. But Brendan Fletcher, he plays the brother of last name's Davis, but he plays the brother of a person who was killed by Freddy previously. They declared it suicide and lost the records, quote unquote, of how he died because they wanted to cover up the whole Freddy
Freddy
Krueger
thing.
killings so that people would forget about him. It's cool because they brought back the actual actor who played the guy who was killed in the old Friday the 13th films to play that role. That whole scene in the
Nightmare
tub.
on Elm Street.
Yeah, I'm sorry. God damn it. I keep Nightmare. He was a character that was in the old Nightmare on Elm Street films that got killed by Freddy. And they brought him back for this movie, and Brendan Fletcher plays his brother Mark Davis, which is he's in a mental asylum because of everything that he experienced and what he saw.
And that's where you see the cameo of the previous Jason.
Yep.
By
yep.
the way.
Exactly. Yep. And the newscast or whatever. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's really all I have for cast. Anyone else want to bring up anything for cast members that they saw in this trash
No.
fire of a movie?
I just want to do another shout out for Catherine Isabel. Just so
Okay,
if you're
fine.
Yeah,
listening.
fair. No, I'm not mad about it.
want
All
to
right,
touch
so,
to everything.
So, why don't we jump into the scene, our favorite scenes portion?
Say hello to our favorite scene.
And now, our favorite scene.
All right, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So my and I'm sorry, I'm taking everybody's, but it's the fight scene.
Yeah, dude. The final battle.
Not the final. My favorite first would be where Jason is dreaming, where like they fucking put all the tranquilizer and fucking I don't know. You get all the classic lines with it, like "Welcome to my nightmare,
bitch."
bitch."
It's the one where it was like all red and stuff.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
He's
I liked that.
I mean, because you see the psychological shit
When he's
with Freddy,
treating Jason
like
as
being
the
his
pinball.
mom.
When he's treating Jason as the pinball in the pinball machine or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude,
That was my first
that
thing
was
I had written down
quintessential.
for
That
my
was
whole
quintessential
list
Nightmare on
was-
Elm Street.
Yep.
I was dying because like the CGI is obviously terrible, but like
Yeah.
hearing the pinball noises just like
Dude,
Yeah.
makes
It's
it
over-
all
it's over
worth
the
it.
top.
Well, that's
Makes it worth it.
And I will be shitting on this movie quite a bit, but to give it credit where credit is due, that is a quintessential Nightmare on Elm Street type scenario. I mean,
Absolutely.
all the wacky goofiness that you would see in a normal one of the things that made the Nightmare on Elm Street film so fucking great is the not only Robert Englund playing Freddy Krueger in a humorous but also absolutely fucking horrifying way. But it's adding that bit of humor into these movies.
That dark comedy.
That very,
like,
very dark, brutal comedy
Yeah.
that took you out of like, oh, this is really fucking brutal. That was like,
Well-
that's kind of funny. And then, oh fuck, he just ripped his fucking skull off. Like,
I don't know.
that
Rewatching it for the episode reminded me how I felt when I was a child watching this, and I remember getting fucking jacked up, like fuck yeah, they're fighting
dude.
each other,
Yeah,
fuck
dude.
yeah, get them.
well, because we were all waiting for that scene. That this whole like we said previously, this whole movie built up to that fucking scene. But yeah, you had more, and I interrupted you because I got all excited. More with that final fight.
I mean, and that was it.
Yeah.
You know, really,
Right.
just the two fucking titans like going at it, and the fact that it's in Freddy's world, so you get the wackiness and the
The
crazy, like the fucking arcade
Right.
and like all the fucking pipes and shit. Like Freddy's not a strong person.
No.
He's gotta use
his domain is the dream world.
Exactly, and he's
Yeah.
like just fucking like telekinesis, like shooting pipes at
That
him
was
and
a
shit.
cool part about the movie too, is seeing like how they play in each other's worlds throughout.
Yes.
Like, obviously,
Right.
that's a big part of it.
Right. I mean, Freddy tried. I mean, he did a pretty good job, I would say.
I mean, he got a good scratch across the mask. That's about as
Yeah.
far as I could say.
Yeah,
Do
I
you
mean,
want to go? Do you want to
he's-
go clockwise around? And
Yeah,
Josh,
give us
Hit it, buddy.
give us the scene that you enjoyed, dog.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, I watched it for the first time ever today. I went in with absolutely no expectations because I didn't know what to expect.
I didn't
Good
know
for
that you
you.
hadn't seen it before,
Yeah.
and I was talking hard shit on this fucking movie the entire time in our group chat.
Yep.
I was like, "This." So I hope I didn't put any like preconceived like ideas in your mind about what you were going to see. But without me saying that, it's still not a good movie.
And
So-
to be fair, when we did our last episode, which was the Spinal Tap one, that was the first time I had ever seen Spinal Tap.
I don't think I've seen that either. So
I am so don't bother.
fair,
Dil-
fair.
Dylan, what's your usual line when someone hasn't seen a movie that we're talking about?
Well, my usual line is that we're not going to judge you. My home is a judge-free home.
I'm gonna judge
I'm
you.
not. He will. That's fine.
That's
his
understandable.
home.
But like but we're not going to be like, oh my god, you haven't seen that. Like, well, I don't want to do that. I'm happy you saw it. That's fucking
Yeah.
cool.
So your
Yeah.
favorite? So you got a favorite scene?
Favorite
from
scene.
So I guess if I had to pick a favorite scene, the scene, and you're gonna have to forgive me, I don't remember characters' names, but there's a scene where Freddy is still trying to get his power back so that he can come back to like the real world or whatever.
Right.
And he kills one of the characters, and on their back, it's like etched in Freddy is back.
Yeah, it's the Mark Davis.
It's super cheesy, and I just like that's the scene that stuck with me.
It's funny because it's on his back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
Like
the part
Freddy's
because
back.
it's
Yeah.
an apostrophe,
Right.
Yeah.
and
It's his
he
back,
just
it's my
claimed
back.
his
Yeah.
back, Freddy's possessive
Well,
Right.
back.
and that scene has the cameo from the guy who was in the previous Nightmare on Elm Street films. His brother, who was
In the bathtub.
It's crazy because he's in the tub and he like throws up his arms and it's Freddy voicing him, controlling him.
Yeah.
And you see the wrist slit as
Yeah.
the excuse
Yes.
of why he actually died, and
Yeah.
you see like the worm spike things come out of the ground and pin
Yeah.
Mark Davis, Brendan Fletcher's character, to the ground and shit. It's a very brutal fucking scene. And the guy Mark Davis, the character he holds so strong, is like, I'm not going to deliver your message. Like, I'm not going to tell the rest of the town that you're back. I'm not going to help you out with this. And he's like, well, I guess I'll have to deliver this message myself. And that's why he burns his back. But yeah, that scene's pretty fucking cool.
It was pretty cool.
It's crazy.
It's definitely memorable.
Rob, what
There-
was your favorite scene?
Like I said earlier, honestly, Miss Knowles, like
Okay.
standing up to Freddy, just
Yeah, dude.
like you're a bitch.
Not Miss
Yeah.
Knowles. That's Beyonce. Kelly Rowland.
Roland, sorry, brain.
I knew who you were talking about.
Yeah.
Destiny's Child. I knew what you were talking about too, but
Yeah. Sorry, one of my friends is going to see her tomorrow in KC, so
Oh, nice.
yeah. So I have Beyonce Knowles
Yeah,
on my
I got
That's
you.
right.
I got you.
Yeah,
But you're right. That scene.
That
like,
scene was fucking sick.
You go, girl.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like, all right, seriously, like, this is pinnacle for like women standing up to asshole men.
It's also a very Nightmare on Elm Street scene as well.
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
Like you see the progression of the scene. Like she's starting to get the best of him. Like he's backing her down and she's kind of backing up, and then she starts talking some crazy shit on him and
Fuck
starts
yeah.
to like walk backwards and back him down.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Nah, bitch, this is I'm in control here."
And not just that though, but she's doing it to distract him,
Yeah.
so
Right.
that those others. So it's very selfless too.
Exactly.
And to be fair, Freddy doesn't win that confrontation.
No.
Jason smacks her fucking ass across the goddamn continent
Yeah.
into a fucking tree. And that's the reason why that confrontation ends. If that kept going, I think she might have backed down Freddy in a situation that we've never seen before.
Look, I'm not
fun
gonna
to talk
lie.
about,
During
too.
most of that, Freddy was a bitch, and
real. He had
that
nothing
was
to say.
really sad because like Freddy, like I love like the horror movie icons like Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers,
Yeah.
so on. But seeing Freddy so like deflated,
Dude.
I was like, oh damn, girl.
In the,
Right?
his-
Like,
in the
well,
history of the
and
Nightmare
I
on
have-
Elm Street films, we've seen Freddy have the upper hand, have the last word, be the one-liner like master that he is, and then you see this person just leaving him literally at a loss of words. Let's literally back you up and be like, "Oh damn, like,
Yeah.
oh shit."
I
Like
can't-
I'm
I-
sitting there like I've always been for like, even since the Spice Girls, girl power, like
Yeah.
you know, feminism and everything. And when it comes down to like seeing that, I'm like, fucking right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like not only was it great on the cinematic aspect, but the, you know, societal aspect of it, fucking beautiful.
I mean, not just women either. But I mean, black.
Anybody,
I
yeah,
mean, being
Yeah.
African American, female, anybody
Yeah.
along
I mean,
that.
because I feel like
It
it's
crosses so many lines.
And I
that,
feel like
yeah,
we should have
good
seen
for
that
her.
coming throughout the movie because she's a very strong-willed and very vocal character throughout the entire film.
Oh,
of
for
like,
sure.
I'm going to command every scene that I'm in, and
she's
she
by
it came
far
to a
one of my
head.
favorites.
Yeah, it came to a head
Absolutely,
against
Josh.
Freddy in that scene. For
Yeah.
sure, that's a good one.
She was taking out her aggression from Destiny's Child.
For sure.
fuck you, Beyonce.
Kyle, what about you? What do you got?
So kind of back to the fight stuff, because those were the big parts that stood out to me. I think that's obviously why you watched the movie for the most part. But one of the thoughts I had while watching like that beginning of the fight at the very end was it looked like a choreographed Power Rangers fight. Like the the fight style was like very like kung fu, but like hokey and
Very
hilarious.
Yeah.
And then
To be fair, most of Ronnie Yu's movies were
Very
martial
much
arts
yeah,
movies.
and so it
prior.
makes sense when Freddy's
You
like
don't know shit.
knocking the nozzles off like the gas canisters
Dude.
and like shooting them like missiles and just like
Yeah.
rocking
pretty
Jason
cool.
across.
Well, they had some like missile sound effects or some shit,
did.
right?
And then he
Or
was
did he
like-
make a cheesy joke?
No,
or some
I think
shit?
they had like
It
some
was-
dumb sound
what was
effect.
what
on
was the
there.
line?
He
said
did
it
have a
was-
one-liner, but it's drawn.
Yeah,
And then
it
the
was,
rebar that like Freddy's throwing at him from the top of the building
Oh,
right
fuck.
after
That
that,
was
and then how
brutal.
pissed Freddy is when Jason's like
He
just
gets
ripping
him,
it out.
But, and this kind of goes back to what you were saying, Rob, is because Freddy's the character that instills fear onto people. Like he's not the one that gets scared,
Right.
And there's a few
That's his whole
moments,
thing.
and
He-
one of
he
them
feeds off of your
with what's her face is like he's getting scared,
Yeah.
and then just like in that scene with Jason when he's like upside down. And he's fucking scared shitless. He's like, and almost he cries like a little bitch.
Well, there's 3 different parts in this movie where you see Freddy like be like, "Oh fuck!" It's when he's like getting ready to kill. I don't remember. I think it was the main character, Lori. He's getting ready to kill her. She's on her back. She's still like dreaming, and he like the front door gets kicked in, and he turns around. And he sees Jason walk in, and his eyes just like get all wide, and he's like, a literal like fear rushes over his face, and it's like, oh, you just scared the like king of fear, like the guy who's conquered and mastered the art of fear. And it's there's a few parts where it's like that, where it really because the whole premise of these movies, these versus movies, whether it's Alien versus Predator, Freddy versus Jason, the whole thing is trying to like get the person who has mastered whatever aspect of this fight has mastered it is to take them out of that element. So when Jason is able to walk in a fucking room and not do anything but just walk in the room and pull and scare the master of fear, Freddy Krueger, you're like, oh shit, this is about to get wild. And from that point on, it was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are great.
Those are
scenes.
so much fun.
I got 2 of them. And
we only get one.
if we want to go up,
This is Spider-Man rules. You only get one.
Everybody gets one. So the cornfield party.
Yes.
The cornfield rave.
Dude. Yeah. So I mean the kill of stabbing the dude with the pole and just throwing him across the cornfield, then
I
lighting.
feel like that wasn't a brutal enough kill for what he was trying to accomplish.
For the
there.
rape scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he killed the girl as well. Like he stabbed it through both. But that part was fucking brutal. Setting Jason on fire and having him just walk through a fucking cornfield, setting the entire cornfield ablaze while he's on fire with his machete on fire was fucking great. That scene was awesome. I thought it was really cool and really well done and pretty fucking brutal. And then like my favorite kill out of this entire fucking movie, and I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, but it's the first or second kill in the film. The guy's in bed and he comes in and he just starts stabbing him with his machete and then motherfucking folds the bed in half. It's shades of like the Nightmare on Elm Street when Johnny Depp was killed and it was the massive explosion of blood out of the bed. It was that iconic of a kill with him just grabbing it and folding him in half.
Fun trivia,
dude.
that was a callback too.
Yep, exactly. Yep. You taking my trivia again, dog? But yeah, those 2 scenes were my favorite
Probably
ones.
the
Of
wrong
course,
guy to have on this
no
episode.
shit. And another one just
Or the
because.
right if they're tired of Tyler talking.
Yeah, no shit. They're like, let someone else fucking talk instead of Tyler. Another one, which is not really a scene, but I just thought it was really important to the character, just because, like Dylan mentioned before, the audience that they were trying to pull into this maybe were people who had not seen previous Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th films, but the opening scene, and I have the quote from it as well, which I'll talk about in a second here, but like the opening scene of showing the origins of Freddy Krueger, which they did in the remake of Friday the 13th with the guy who played, I can't remember his fucking name, he's a great actor, but the guy who played him in the new remake.
Of Friday the 13th or of
Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So they showed a little bit of his origins of him being like a child killer and how they literally like burned him alive in the house that he was in, killing children and shit like that. But showing the whole origins of Freddy Krueger, I liked, and it's the opening scene.
And Jason.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, exactly. But Freddy mainly because of like that's the whole premise of the movie is for Freddy to be able to come back to do what he likes doing and killing the fucking people in town and on Elm Street. So they show the whole story and tell the whole background of him, why he is the way that he is and why he does what he does. So.
Forgive me if I'm interrupting. Is this a good time now? Because every movie I try to find like when I first started watching it.
This is my favorite bit that we do, and I love it.
Aw.
Do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So these movies, the 80s slasher movies, I only watched because of my mom. My mom really big into.
Shout out to Dylan's mom. I love you.
Yeah, thanks, mommy. But I don't ever remember before this movie coming out knowing what the origin story of Freddy was. I feel like they touch on it a lot in the Friday the 13th movies with Jason's. Because that's
the whole
his
drowning
motivation.
as a child in Camp Crystal Lake. Yeah,
in Nightmare on Elm Street movies, you don't need necessarily a fucking backstory.
No,
he just goes into dreams
right
and wants to
away.
scare.
Yeah.
Right. So this movie, that's where I learned the origin. And fucking.
I had known it before, but seeing because they had never put it on screen of an actual visual of what happened to kill him.
They did because in the original, I think it Nightmare on Elm Street 3, where it's what he gets his power because he makes a deal with all these demons and stuff, and they're like the horrible CGI floating skulls and shit like that.
Right. Yeah.
God, that was so great for the time, but so tragic.
But I think the visual of behind it and showing the parents and how, because being a parent, like showing the parents finally hitting fuck it, and they're like, okay, we know where this dude lives. Like, let's just go fucking set him on fire right now. But yes, I mean, is there any other scenes that you guys want to bring up? Anything else that you want to talk about for quintessential scenes or cool scenes? I like the guy turning into, like, Freddy turning into, like, the little caterpillar shades of fucking Alice in Wonderland when the dude's all stoned and stuff. Like, that's the, I think that was the tie into a younger generation to be like, because I mean, weed's always been a big thing, but like at the time there was a very prevalent push for just smoking weed and having weed be something that's a regular thing. I feel like that scene was something to bring in the younger generation to be like, oh dude, he's fucking turned into a caterpillar while they're trying to kill the stoner and shit like that. Like, I thought it was fucking cool. But any other scene that you guys have that?
The only other scene that I have, it ties in with my quote.
I've only got, this is the first, but I've only got one quote for.
Yeah, my quote section's
I got two, but
Okay.
that's
We pray all.
Mine's a long one, so it's a monologue.
I guess I can do a real quick. It's the scene with the one girl who's gonna do mouth to mouth with Jason.
Oh.
Because Jason is
Kelly
like
Rowland.
drowning him and shit, and she's got to
Freddy's
like
drowning
pull.
him,
Yeah,
Jason,
Freddy is drowning Jason, and they have to keep Jason alive to kill Freddy. And so, like, he's got to do, they have to do mouth to mouth. He's like, I have asthma. The fucking driver yells back, he has asthma. and you,
that's
like,
a full callback too.
Like, she pulls his fucking mask off just a little bit, and you see his like
The gooey,
rotting
nasty,
fucking mouth. And she actually fucking does it.
Yeah.
Right? No. Well, no. She's
She
doing
starts
it,
to-
but then he like coughs it up, and then that's when he wakes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Dude, that grossed me out. I'm not
It's
gonna lie.
disgusting. Yeah, it's fine.
I think it's supposed to.
I mean,
It's supposed
first
to gross
off,
you out.
like being previously CPR certified, if they're not like puking up, then you didn't do it right.
Yeah.
So
Major
like,
flex in here, being CPR certified.
well, I was also search and rescue certified. So
Oh fuck!
fuck
Jesus
it,
Christ.
whatever, dude.
Okay, but yeah, no, it's just, that whole scene is
thank you
just
for your
disgusting.
And it was all because
thank
of
you for your
Jason.
service.
Should we
yeah.
do some quotes?
Let's do some quotes. Yeah.
I want the quotes. You can't handle the quotes.
Here's our favorite quote from this week's movie.
Dylan.
Hey.
Dylan, you go ahead. Do your quote.
My quote.
We're gonna do one per person.
It's Freddy talking to Jason. Jason doesn't have much to say.
Weird.
But he's tormenting the young Jason, which is crazy because that's like he goes after kids and this is whatever. But he pulls his fucking hockey mask off of Jason and goes, "Oh, how sweet, you ugly little shit." Now that's a face. And then he holds up fucking Jason's mom's head and said, "Now that's a face only a mother could love."
Yeah.
Which is a tie back
That
to...
was one of mine too. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm
I
sorry.
expected
But
it.
that's my fucking
Yeah.
favorite.
No, that's a good
because,
one, yeah.
Like that scene, like that quote right there. I mean, it's the whole movie.
Dude,
I mean,
for sure.
I mean, it ties everything back to his mom.
And we didn't talk
and-
about it yet, but like the whole fact that the mom who the actress who played the mom of Jason, they tried to get the original actress.
Potato juice.
Potato juice. Peach flavored potato
Yeah,
juice.
it's not
is
him.
in my
It's
cup
not
right
him
now.
taking a piss right now. It's just because it sounds like it. It's the potato juice peach. Peach potato
It's
juice.
It would be
a little
so
bit
much
of
more
both.
interesting if it was pink.
It'd been better. Yeah. What's the Matthew McConaughey like? Be cooler if you did.
Be cooler if you did.
Yeah. But like they tried to get the original actress who played Jason's mom in the Friday the 13th movies. She came back with like, no, the role is too small, or that role is too small for me.
Mm-hmm.
Which, bitch, this is not about you.
No.
Like you could be.
It's not Freddy versus you.
To be honest, I feel like it would have been much better, and I would have liked the movie a little bit more if they had the original actress who played the mom, because it would. I like continuity with actors and actresses reprising roles and coming back and playing roles that they originally played. I think it would have been great, but Yeah, she turned it down, and that's why we got the mom who played his mother as a completely different actress, which is a bummer. But
I think she did a great job though.
She
She
did.
looked
she was
like him.
great.
You knew exactly who the fuck she was.
She was also super creepy, overbearing mother role, which is what she is supposed to be.
Yep,
So.
exactly.
I mean, she
so-
was like Kathy Bates and fucking Bates Motel Mom,
Bro.
Yeah.
all together.
I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna, I thought you were gonna pull a Misery reference because I feel Kathy Bates Misery vibes.
Dude,
from-
that was like,
Yeah.
I love Kathy Bates. Like,
fucking love. Dude,
she
American
did
Horror
great.
Story. Kathy
Yeah.
Bates is
Yeah.
fucking phenomenal. Dude,
How many
Everything she
seasons has she
touched.
been in?
3, I think.
Three.
Yeah, you know what?
Roanoke.
I'll go back to Roanoke. Was she in
Coven.
Coven? Yeah,
Yeah.
she was in Coven, and then
Apocalypse.
yes,
Yeah,
Apocalypse.
that
right.
was a
Yep,
good
yeah,
one.
Apocalypse was fucking great. Your wife needs to be here for these conversations,
I
Josh. What's
know.
going
I
on?
think she's playing with a kitty.
That's fair. That's fair.
Understood.
That's the
That's
only
not
way
a
I'll let it
euphemism,
slide.
by the way.
She, yeah, it is. She's literally playing with a feline cat, is what. But so quotes wise, Josh, what quotes you got, homie?
So I'm unprepared in this category.
That's okay.
And like honestly, again, I watched it for the first time today.
You did,
The
yeah.
only quote that I can like realistically remember is like when Freddy is trying to kill the one chick that's like hiding in the locker in the
Yeah.
dream world.
Yeah.
And Jason ends up killing her somehow,
That's
and he's
mine.
like, "She's mine." Like
Yeah.
that's like realistic.
Right.
I know that's super short and
No,
simplistic, but
no,
I also
that's-
think that was kind of
that's
a
the
pivotal
reason.
point to the
It
movie
is.
because
It's
like
super important, you're right? Because
Yeah.
like his whole reason for bringing Jason back is to be like, I need to get my fix, get my kill fix. I need
Yeah.
to get that for me.
And I think it
when
kind of
he's
sparked
finally-
that like
did.
rivalry right
Absolutely,
there.
it
Like,
did.
no,
Right.
this is
And
what
She
we're
died though because the rave guy, which I want to know who played the rave guy because he looks like Power Man
fucking-
5000.
He does.
He
does.
Which
Does it-
one, Wayne or
the rave guy.
The-
Oh, which Power
Yeah,
Man
which Power Man 5000 guy.
Oh, that's
Rip.
Static X.
I don't give
Oh,
a shit. They all suck.
Fair. Fact.
It's okay.
Hashtag fact.
Is
I'm
it
not
one
offended.
dead? Like,
I'm not offended.
But that
But
scene.
because he is on
Yeah.
top of her raping, and then Jason
Yeah.
takes his knife, kills him.
It's
and
not
then
a
the leg
knife, dude.
goes
not a
He
knife.
has a giant
it was
pipe.
like the pipe.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a pipe. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Like
Yeah,
a
and he just
javelin
fucking
almost.
like javelin that boy.
Yeah, it was like an unintentional kill, but still like kind of sparked that like
Right.
debacle.
Still
between
took
the
it
two
from
of them.
Freddy, though.
Yeah.
Still took it from Freddy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that scene is so important because it's like because previously Freddy had gotten a hold of Jason to be like, hey, bro, I'm bringing you in to help me with this shit.
Yep.
I need you to just scare him so that they can be like, oh shit, this is the guy Freddy. This
Just
is
to
the guy
get
that's-
some fear there.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And then when he's like, okay, finally, I'm able to get this fucking kill, and Jason just steals it from him.
Yep.
It's like fuck,
It's
and
like some
that's
betrayal.
that's what starts. Yeah, that's what starts that animosity between the two of them for sure. That's a good one. That's a
King
good one.
Rob.
I'll take it. So actually, I have two of them, and I don't.
The King of the North!
You only
King
get
of the
one.
North.
That's what we
Too
said.
bad. I'm
King
taking
of the
two.
North, he said. That's fine. I did two. If there's another person that I'm okay with doing two parts, it's you. So I'm okay. I'm okay with this because no one's gonna have the
You're okay with
quote
doing
that I
Rob
have.
twice.
Okay.
I'll do Rob 100, dude. As long as you'll let me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, go ahead.
Consent is sexy.
Do your
Just like that. Why don't you get on back there and tongue punch that fart box?
I just got fucking goosebumps. That's like in the headphones.
It was basic
I'm gonna
as fuck.
save that.
You're welcome.
That's gonna be one of his hot buttons.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you got for your quotes?
All right, so I got two of them. Both of them touch me deeply.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I wish. It's been a while.
We'll sync up after this is over, babe. Don't
Yeah, all
worry.
right,
I
gotcha.
got you.
So the first one was one by Freddy,
Yeah.
which was being dead wasn't the problem, but being forgotten, now that's a bitch. I can't come back if nobody remembers me. I can't come back if nobody's afraid.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that touches me in a spot that really only a priest has.
Yeah.
I'm
get
not
it.
even Catholic. I grew up diet Catholic.
Diet Catholic.
Yeah.
Methodist
white.
then?
What?
Methodist?
Lutheran.
Okay.
So I mean,
Catholic
same
white.
amount of guilt, half the work.
That's fucking great. So that's a good line. That's a
yeah.
good bit.
So the other one is something that I actually need on a coffee mug because it says, "Do you want some free advice? Coffee. Make friends with it." that touches me on a very spiritual level because if I don't have caffeine in my system, I'm very killy. And Freddy and Jason would be put to shame
And that's what
if I don't have my fucking coffee.
Yeah. The one asylum kid says that to the other one, right?
Yeah,
when he's
trying to keep people.
When he says it to Lori.
Yeah.
I call that a plot scene because without that scene, you have no plot in the movie.
Right. So telling her that like whatever you do, stay awake. Don't fucking fall asleep.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. So you did say 2. Yeah. So those are your 2.
Yeah. Those are my 2.
Yeah. Those are good ones. Kyle.
So I had 2, but one was one of Dylan's, which was
Sorry.
It's okay. It's when Freddy rips Jason's mask off and calls him "you ugly little shit," like that whole thing.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Well, he's fucking laying there like quivering and crying like you ugly little shit.
Yeah, it was such a good scene. And then one of the ones that was kind of funny to me was Freddy goes, "Now it's time to put the bad dog to sleep," and then Jason slices his arms off. And just like the way he screams, "Ah, my arms!"
Yeah,
like it reminds me of like SpongeBob when he's like, "My leg, my leg."
I was
I
really
just cracked
hoping,
up.
and I didn't remember this when I was a kid, but I don't know why I was like wanting it so bad.
Yeah.
But I really wanted Freddy to say, "'Tis but a scratch."
It's just a flesh wound. Yeah, but those are another fucking solid quote. So mine's a long one. It's literally the first lines of the entire film. Yeah, it is. So and we talked about it a little bit before the whole introduction of Freddy's backstory. Not introduction, but the retelling of Freddy's backstory.
And I love origin stories. I fucking
for
love
real.
them.
Dude,
yeah,
for sure.
As long as they're done correctly. Yeah, absolutely.
Episode 3 is my favorite.
Yeah, I
fucking
mean,
Star
we're
Wars
not talking like Wolverine origins.
Episode 3? You mean episode 1?
No, episode 3.
Why?
Because it's like the origin of Darth Vader.
I mean, technically, like episode 1 showing
Episode
Anakin.
4, technically, in like if you watch them in.
But
order
episode
of story.
3, Revenge of the Sith. Like,
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
That's-
It's
okay,
when
that's
Darth
fine.
I see what you're
Vader
saying. Yeah.
That's when he
Darth
makes the
Vader.
transition from
Fighting
Anakin
lava
to
and like
that
save his
fucking
life.
lightsaber fight scene.
I don't know.
I followed you there.
Thank
I
you.
saw it.
I don't know.
I'm rusty.
Everyone,
You're right, I
but
apologize.
everyone but Josh
I'm
made
rusty.
me question
My bad.
Yeah.
I
a
apologize.
lot of fucking things about myself.
I've seen that
All right.
movie before today. I can follow you there.
I'm not gonna lie.
First lines of the entire film, Freddy Krueger narrating narrating his whole backstory, talking about his origins. He goes, "My children from the beginning, it was the children who gave me my power. The Springwood Slasher, that's what they called me. My reign of terror was legendary. Dozens of children would fall by my blades. Then the parents of Springwood came for me, taking justice into their own hands. When I was alive, I might have been a little naughty, but they came after me. I became something much, much worse. The stuff of nightmares. The children still feared me, and their fear gave me the power to invade their dreams. And that's when the real fun began. Until then, they figured out a way to forget about me, to erase me completely. Being dead wasn't a problem, but being forgotten, now that's a bitch. I can't come back if nobody remembers me. I can't come back if nobody's afraid. I had to search the bowels of hell, but I found someone who will make them remember. He may get the blood, but I'll get the glory. And that fear is my ticket home." That origins monologue and that bit from the opening scene was like, and that is what like
That
led
just
me
got
to
me
believe.
hard. I'm just letting
Yeah.
you know.
That was my goal.
Yeah. I mean, just the
I
words
said
that you
differently
said.
in my
Oh, okay,
seat now.
okay,
Thank
yeah.
you.
I mean,
That-
I
that-
could do it better.
That opening, fuck you. That opening scene had me like without the first time I saw it, without seeing the rest of the film. That opening bit and that opening monologue, I was like, this is gonna be fucking amazing. This is gonna be so fucking good. It had the combinations of him telling his literal backstory with actually what happened, him throwing in the Freddy twist of like being dead, or being forgotten, that's a bitch. Like it had everything I wanted in a Nightmare on Elm Street style Freddy monologue, and then it went like drastically downhill from his one-liners that were just so fucking half-assed and so based in just silliness that it didn't. But that's that line itself. That's why that's the only line that I have. The only bit that I have is because that was the only one that I was like, oh, this movie is gonna be fucking amazing.
And I'm going to like kind of reference the movie as well as that quote. You read that quote, and it is like peek. Ah, shit! I found someone who he might get the blood, but I'll get the glory.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and it's one of those like, all right, cool. I don't give a shit who gets the glory. I want to see either you kill Jason or Jason kill you. And to be honest, neither one of them won.
Oh, hold on. What? We're gonna get to that.
I know we're
in
gonna
fact,
get to
in fact,
that.
we're gonna get to that next.
But that's a little segue for you.
Yeah. So okay. So
Thank you.
all right,
You're
so-
welcome.
Are we doing trivia?
No, not yet.
Damn it.
We're gonna do the kill count. We're gonna do the kill count. I always
Okay.
I always throw this on to you unexpectedly, and I want to know. We'll go clockwise again. How
Okay.
many kills do you think were in this movie, Dylan?
In this movie, 23.
Cheater, Kyle. 23. Okay.
17.
17.
You don't want to ask me that question.
I want to know. I don't think.
I'm gonna give a false answer.
So
You can give the real
let's
answer
make
at
it.
the
So on-screen deaths that we see happen. Not referencing previous kills that might have happened in the time frame of the movie, but on-screen deaths that we see.
But
You're the only. I knew that there was going to be one person that I had to specify what I meant by it, and I knew that it was going to be you as well.
You're
so
prepared.
yeah.
17.
Okay.
20.
Okay.
What did you say, Josh?
I also said 17.
Okay, all right.
Real original, Rob.
And what did
Oh,
you
I'm
say?
sorry.
Dylan?
Looking it up on
He's
your
my
phone over
look,
there.
look, I already said it
I'm
earlier.
not.
He's my hero. I want to
And the-
follow in his footsteps.
and the
So I'll
close-
just go 18.
And the closest one was Kyle.
Yes.
Ooh.
Total
Wow.
kill count was 21.
Okay.
Now here's another section. How many of those kills do you think Jason had?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You said there was 21?
Let's put it
There's
together.
21.
Let's put it together. How many kills did Jason have, and how many kills did Freddy have? 21 was the total amount.
Well, I'm just gonna go with Jason killed more. Can we do that, or do
No,
you
count.
need
Give me a count.
17?
I think 16.
I'll go 18.
16 seems right.
Okay.
One, Bob.
Rob was close. Rob was closest with 19. Jason kills 19. Freddy kills 2.
Damn.
Yeah.
Which is okay. So
I mean, it makes sense for how it's.
I
set
thought it
up,
was
I guess.
3.
So to expand two deaths. So it's the backburn, the backburn death, and then the other one, the second death.
Yep, that
I
one.
looked it up and I can't remember the fucking name of the second person who was killed, but the bummer part of it,
The bed death.
the bed death was Jason
That was Jason, yeah.
because it's the
Fuck, you're
machete
right.
through the
Yeah, that's right.
So the reason the bummer part, not the bummer part, but the crazy part about this is Freddy. His whole thing was he wants to go back and to get his fix of getting his kills and being able to be feared by everyone. And he brings back Jason to obviously to get that fear in everyone else to not so much get all the kills but to be able to open the door for him to come back in and get the kills. And Jason gets 19 and Freddy gets 2. It just goes to show that like either A, he didn't think it through enough, or he underestimated Jason about how this was going to play out. But yeah, the final kill count is 21. Jason got 19. Freddy got 2. You guys were all pretty close anyway, so I applaud all
Good
of you
game,
for that.
good game.
So now, Dylan, I am down for hitting some trivia up. about this.
Trivia.
Yeah, now what's going to happen here is I'll do my trivia, and I'm sure Rob's going to have plenty of trivia of his own that I didn't touch on. And when we get to that point, we'll hit on him, and he'll give us that info.
We asked him to leave the room.
We
for this
did. We
segment.
said get it the fuck out of the room while I do my bit, and then you can come back in and you can add to it. So, the first bit of trivia is this is the final film in which Robert Englund portrays and plays the role of Freddy Krueger. After this, he never touched the role again, never touched the character again, aside from a couple like commercials and a little bit of like side advertising of the character in other countries. But in the United States, in a full role of Freddy Krueger, this was the last time that he played it. So, according to Robert Englund, his Freddy makeup was so thick that he couldn't tell how hot it was when he was in the scenes where there was a lot of fire in it. So when he got in to have his makeup removed, it had actually melted and bonded to his face,
Ow.
causing some partial scarring to his face, which what he said is like it's going to be a constant reminder of my iconic character that I always played. Which I'm like, hey, way to have a positive outlook on the fact that you were permanently scarred from fucking the horrible planning of the producers and choreographers and shit.
Makes you kind of think from like a spooky aspect if it's like a Heath Ledger Joker thing where the character kind of left a mark, kind of a thing. Kind of creepy to think about.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Standing at 6'7", like we discussed previously, 1.96 meters tall, Ken Kersinger is the tallest actor to play Jason Voorhees to date. The biggest problem that occurred on set was a fight between Ronnie Yu, and I'm sure that you know this, between Ronnie Yu and Catherine Isabel, who played Gib, who had signed on.
Ronnie who?
Ronnie Yu, the director. Ronnie who? Who's on first?
What's on second?
See, someone. But there was a
that's a little racism for you, folks.
There was a spat between the two. Catherine Isabel signed on to the film under the premise that she would not have to do any nude scenes, as she had a strict no nude clause in her contract. Yu, during the shoot, pushed really hard, went back on his promise, and repeatedly pressured her to get naked on scene. They eventually settled on using a body double together, but it's a pretty nasty conflict that, at the time, was pushing toward this film not finishing production, because she was like, well, if you're not going to like follow my wishes, like, I'm done.
And that's
like,
another reason that I absolutely respect that woman, is because she has a no nude clause in
like,
all of her
fuck you, I'm not
contracts.
showing my titties. Yeah.
Like, she is an absolutely beautiful woman.
Yeah,
like,
gorgeous.
Favorite Scream Queen since like I was easily 15, 16 years old. And I mean, like, her and Christina Ricci, like you put those two like in the same room together.
You're a Christina Ricci fan?
I mean, ever since Wednesday Addams, fuck yeah.
That's fair.
And Casper, and
you're gonna see her back as you're gonna see her in the Beetlejuice.
I know,
the Beetlejuice sequel.
So excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick for sure.
But yeah, I mean, the fact that she has that clause in all of her contracts that I know of.
Well, and you hear so often of actresses not sticking to their guns and folding and doing the nude scene because it's the director telling them to. She stuck to her guns. She's like, "Fuck you, bitch! I'm not doing this shit. It's in my fucking contract. I'm not going to show my titties if I don't, if I didn't sign on to do so." So good for her for standing her ground.
Yeah, and
fuck Ronnie Wu for being like, for going back on his fucking.
Also, all your other movies are shit. So. Including Bride of Chucky.
Another good point. Another valid point. So this was the first Freddy movie not limited to the United States. And the filmmakers had to search for a new house that would resemble... not filmed in the United States. And the filmmakers had to search for a new house that would resemble the famous Freddy Krueger Elm Street house and completely rebuild it, to represent the previous Nightmare films, which is kind of cool. A sequel was planned but never materialized. This one is one of my favorite bits of trivia because there is a film that was made that had a budget of like $2,200 and had somebody else play Ash Williams, which is another fucking slight to the character. But a sequel was planned but never materialized. It was published as a 6-issue comic series in late 2007. They were going to turn it into a movie, which added the 1981 Evil Dead's Ash Williams, Bruce Campbell to the mix. And the movie was going to be dude, I get chills talking about it. The movie was going to be titled Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash. Motherfucker.
That would have been all about the boomstick.
Oh yeah,
dude. How sick would it have been to see those three go up against each other? Like, oh my god,
that would have been awesome.
The final battle with like all three of them at the same time.
Dude, I can't even.
All I can say is
that
like
was made, but apparently it was just horrible.
All I can say is like Ash Williams with a shotgun and
I'm going with Ash.
2 fucking slugs full of rock salt because rock salt protects you from demons.
He's got this.
Look, I'm a salty motherfucker and I got an emotional support demon over there.
And you're good. Yeah.
It's me.
It's me. The $25 million budget of the film was the highest of the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street series, which makes sense because they combined the two together to make the film. At around 1 hour and 19 minutes in, Freddy's "How Sweet Dark Meat" line is a variation of the "How Sweet Fresh Meat" line in Nightmare on Elm Street for the Dream Master in 1988.
Very Freddy thing to say.
Extremely Freddy thing to say. Yeah, not the most not politically correct serial slasher killer in in cinema history.
Oh, he's the least one because everybody else is quiet.
Right, yeah, no one says shit. Yeah. You got Jason, you've got Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I mean, Chucky's the only other one that I think could be
Ghostface.
Yeah, and Ghostface doesn't say like Chucky's the only other one that I think could maybe like not even hold a candle, but kind of be compared to him because he runs his fucking mouth all the time. According to director
Just like
Ronnie
Tyler.
Yeah.
That's why he's got a podcast.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I do this. According to director Ronnie Yu, the special effects team used 300 gallons of fake blood for the movie, which is also a callback to kind of a callback to the original Nightmare on Elm Street. The blood coming out of the bed when Johnny Depp was killed was a record amount of blood used at that time. The only amount of blood that was used more was the Shining elevator scene, the blood coming out of the Freddy's boiler room in the movie was not a built set. It was an actual old boiler room redressed by the crew to make it easier to navigate
badass.
through.
I love that.
Yeah.
No, that's sick.
It was just a repurposed boiler room.
Yeah,
That was
basically,
it.
yeah, for sure.
Like, it was beautiful. It was like,
and it felt that. It felt like that when you watched it. You're like, oh, they're in a boiler room.
I mean, you better. It was a fucking boiler room.
Yeah, right. I mean, but they add some steam to it and change the lighting, and you're like, I feel like I'm in a fucking boiler room, for sure. In one early draft of the script, Jason Voorhees had been captured and restrained by authorities and would spend much of the film on trial for his countless murders, which is fucking stupid. His defense lawyer would have been the lead character of the film and focused solely on the trial of Jason Voorhees. How they would have incorporated fucking Freddy into that, I don't know.
No.
But it sounds fucking awful.
Yeah.
It sounds horrible. But that was one of the other scripts that was axed. So in the posters of the movie, Freddy's glove is on the wrong hand. On his left hand when it should be on the right hand. Robert Englund himself pointed it out in the DVD commentary, but there was no way to fix this because it was only noticed as the posters had already printed and shipped out to the different guys. This is the bit of trivia, the last bit of trivia that I have, but it's the one for you. Rob Zombie was offered to direct this film, but turned it down to work on his pet project, House of a Thousand Corpses. Amongst other directors who were offered this role, can you guys name any of them that you think might have been offered this role?
Wes Craven.
No.
Oh, I mean, it would make sense.
He was one of the co-writers on the film.
The reason that it was a New Line film, so there would have had to been John Carpenter involved in that.
Close along the New Line option. You're close. You're close. So, anyone else have any?
Josh?
So
I got nothing.
Peter Jackson,
Oh,
Lord of the
interesting.
Rings fame, was offered the role. Mark Azadippy.
Percy Jackson?
You watch your fucking mouth.
So,
and
what
then
would his movie have looked like? Would it had just been like Jason walking a whole lot?
it would have been.
They would have gotten the sequel and the third one too.
It would have been
Oh, yeah.
visually fucking beautiful, and it would have been a story that was more comprehensible than what.
I
we
mean,
were
that
doing.
is a big thing of
the
Jason,
writing
though.
probably
Like,
would have been better.
like the prey running, and then Jason just fucking walking.
Somehow,
It
That
really
is
somehow
the-
only a step behind.
I
no
mean,
matter
that's
how
one of the
fast they're running.
scariest
Right,
things I
yeah.
think about with Jason and with Mike Myers is the whole
So
fucking
Michael
Friday
Myers.
the 13th 4, where he's just walking the whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd see it.
But I mean, that's one of the scariest things. Like, no matter how fucking fast you run, and you're gonna keep running, you're gonna fall. But he's just
Right
right
there.
fucking there.
Yep.
And I want someone to make like a little animated clip of someone running really fast, and then whenever the camera isn't looking at Jason, it's just Jason like library running, like just to stay that close.
That would be. I'd watch it still. Like it would still be fantastic. The only other director that anyone would know about, which I think it would have been fucking visually, like it would have been beautiful just because of the other films that he's done. Is Guillermo del Toro was also the top
Wow,
to
that
film it.
that would have been good.
All right,
Sick
now
as
to
fuck.
be fair, I love Guillermo del Toro, but that would have become an art film.
I feel like I mean each director, no matter what movie they do or how they direct, I feel like I would be down with any. The one that I would have preferred do this was Rob Zombie. I would have preferred Rob Zombie do this out of and me being a Peter Jackson fanboy, I would have preferred Rob Zombie direct this because he would have added the brutality and also the aspect of the fact that this dude Rob Zombie grew up and fell in love with this genre of film. Like this is something that he is.
I mean, he did the Halloween.
and I thought it was. Dylan and I disagree, but I thought it was great. I thought the
Oh,
Halloween.
I thought it was great.
Oh wait, who did we have? Joe. Sorry.
Joe.
Sorry. Yeah, we had Joe. Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, I
fuck
thought it
Joe.
was. I thought. Yeah. I love Joe, but like he thought it was trash, and he's a Halloween purist. That dude is like how you're obsessed with, with Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. That's how he was with Halloween, and he was like, I thought it was a disservice to the fucking character, but I think Rob Zombie would have done a phenomenal job with Freddy versus Jason. Now, if you were asking, if the question is, would I give up House of a Thousand Corpses to get a Rob Zombie directed,
No, not at all.
Freddy versus Jason? Absolutely not. I would rather have House of a Thousand Corpses, but it would have been cool as shit to see to see Rob Zombie film a Freddy versus Jason movie. So,
And I would love to, like, if they did have Guillermo del Toro, I would want to do a 2-director film, and it wouldn't have been Ronnie Yu,
Wes
but
Craven.
Yeah, I could do Wes Craven because Wes Craven did the originals,
Right.
so he knows the Freddy aspect of it.
And I think that Guillermo del Toro's side of his visual is the visual aspect that he could have added to it would have just jumped on top of the beautiful backstory that was created for Freddy in the first place by Wes Craven. So, yeah, I mean it's fun to go back and be like, oh, what if, and what would it have been like if this director did it? But that was for you, Dylan, because I know you're a big Rob Zombie fan, and I knew House of a Thousand Corpses is one of your favorite horror films that we've also talked about previously. But yeah, that's the last bit of trivia I have. So how about we talk about the rankings? I ranked this movie.
I have one bit of trivia.
Oh,
Ooh, Tyler
Let me
fucked
hear.
up.
Pump the brakes.
So, we were talking about Jason, how he was 6'7", towering over. Now, the reason I wasn't in the room, but did you give the reason as to why they chose this new actor
As opposed to
Jason,
the original?
because
as
he
opposed
wasn't.
to Kane?
Yeah, because he wasn't from what I've read, it's because he wasn't as tall as they wanted him to be over Robert Englund.
Correct, but the other reason that
Well,
was
he was
given,
in the movie,
he was in the movie,
but
however,
not as Jason.
not
Yeah,
as Jason.
right.
However, the other reason that was given was because they needed another Jason with more menacing eyes, more serial killer-esque eyes, dark, like recessed.
Black pits.
Yeah, like this. Like if you look at the eyes of Jason during this movie, this is the most
It's I think the most terrifying Jason that we saw.
Yeah. Emotive Jason.
Which the fact that he's walking around with a hockey mask on and he was still able to make a character emotive is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a really well done job.
Yeah.
And this guy that's not the first. This isn't. Let me look at his IMDb because I don't think that's the first thing that he's done where he's really, because I think he was in Game of Thrones. Like there was other things that he's been in that is solely based off of his size, but was able to add to the character as well. And I can't remember the other ones that he was in, but yeah, I mean that's what he does. I think he's a good actor, and I think he did great. I mean, arguably, I'd say that this is my favorite portrayal of Jason. Like I mean, Jason X was something. Like it was,
That was something.
It was fine. I mean, but like this is probably my favorite portrayal of Jason as it stands as a character. He was in Watchmen. He was in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He was in Cabin in the Woods. I'm trying to think. Fucking Twilight. X-Men Origins, the Wolverine one. I mean, so he's done some pretty big pictures, but yeah, I think this was my favorite thing that he's done, and I thought that Jason was my favorite as well. So, yeah, thanks for that extra bit of trivia, Rob. I appreciate you. So
My
ranking
pleasure.
for this one, Dylan, what do you give it?
6.9.
Ooh, that's high. That's high.
Yeah, I mean, but again, I was a kid, and for what it did for me
See,
then.
we're not talking. So I mean, is that?
No, that's gonna fucking play into it,
If you would've-
Tyler. That's gonna play into it.
Well,
It
you know what
had-
6.9 is, right?
Always.
Ayo!
A good time ruined by
Yeah,
a period.
I wanted to give it a mid ranking, but a high mid ranking, because it's fucking Freddy versus Jason. Like that alone, like you just say, hey, what would you rate a movie that's about Freddy versus Jason? And I'd say fucking 6. 0.9.
So I guess this needs to be a two-parter. Okay, so like seeing it at the age of 13 or how old you are when it came out, what would you have given it then compared to what if you were to, like Josh, you saw it for the first time?
If I saw it, like if I ranked it after my first time seeing it,
at this age.
At this age,
Right.
Like if I was like 32-year-old Dylan watching it for the first time,
Right.
I'd probably give it like a 6.5. Probably
A
like
little bit
that.
lower, but
feel
still
like
Just a little
pretty
bit
generous.
lower.
Still
yeah,
above
probably
average.
that.
Okay. That's fair. What about you, Josh?
So I found it extremely boring up until the last like 30-ish minutes.
You ain't wrong, dog.
So I feel like a 3.2 maybe. Like it wasn't complete trash, but I don't think I would willingly watch it again.
I
so,
thought I was going to be the lowest on this ranking.
Yeah, I mean, I can respect what it's brought to the table for the horror genre, and that's why I'm willing to go as high as I am. But I don't want to watch it again.
Right.
So
Yeah. No, that's fair. Rob.
So it had some really great people in the cast. Seeing it, how many years after? Let's see, it was
20 years.
20 years after.
Yep. It's the 20th anniversary.
It's the 20th. Oh yeah, I said that earlier.
A callback
We
when
did
we
talk
said
about that.
that an hour ago.
Has it been that
If you want to
long?
hear us talk about that, listen
Yeah.
to the current episode that you're listening to and just rewind it.
Yeah, all the way back. All right, so let's say like 18-year-old me watching it for the first time, I would have given it like a 5.7. And now me, 38 years old.
It's surprising because I thought you'd be higher on it for the original viewing when you first saw it because of the hype of the two juggernauts going against each
That
other.
was the problem. The hype. Because the movie in itself, up until like when fucking Jason throws
And ain't that a
Freddy's
bitch?
arm through him,
Yeah,
was trash.
right.
And
Except
that
for
was like way towards the end of the movie.
Miss Rollins.
But now,
again,
so
that was like the last like
and-
10 to
What about-
15
Yeah.
minutes of the film.
so then
What about you, Kyle?
So then I'm assuming that your rankings, and I apologize, I'm assuming that your rankings of it currently as your current age is even lower than that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd give it a 2 because it's shit.
Fair.
Okay.
Apt.
Kyle.
Straight to the
From original viewing,
Straight
that
to
was
the
one of those
toilet.
movies I got from like Blockbuster or whatever and was like excited to watch. So I think for that reason alone, I probably would have given it like a 6.5 back in the day. But like rewatching it, it's totally like a 4 at best.
It really
is. It's I appreciate it for what it is, but
Yep.
it's a 4.
I get it.
Yeah.
Especially compared to all the other movies in the genre, you know.
Right.
I'm glad that it was the last one of that series because that was the
Yeah.
respawn.
And there were plans
and the
for more
reboots.
like for sequels of it and shit. And I'm like,
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I've said it before.
and you'll say it again.
But I mean, a movie's like where my expectation is I want to be pulled out of this
Reality.
shit that we call reality. And whilst watching that movie,
It did.
It did that.
And that's
I
fair.
wasn't worrying about my basement fucking flooding. I wasn't
fair.
worrying about my fucking oil pan being cracked. I wasn't worried about that. I was just going, oh yeah, stab him, dude. Oh, that's blood. Ooh, blood and boobies.
He's like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why I'll never like debate your rankings of it because I know that you're
Thank
ranking
you.
it from a point of like pure like was I entertained and was I distracted from everything outside of this film? Yes, this is what I'm giving.
Whether
That's-
or not this is a stereotypical answer or a stereotypical like cliche like title for a movie, it was a popcorn movie. I mean, you
For
pop
sure.
you pop
Yeah.
a bowl of popcorn, you sit down, watch a movie.
this is
You'll
something that
zone
you go
out.
see in
and
theaters
for
with
that,
people, and
it's 6.9 because that's what it is.
that's fair. Yeah, you go see this in theaters with people and hear the auditorium screaming while you're watching it when it came out.
Right.
See,
And
I
these
think it's a
movies-
good one to have on in the background when you're doing
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah,
so
like
that you
fold
don't witness
laundry
the
or doing
kills.
dishes
Yeah.
or some shit.
And you can
fair.
see
Well-
the important parts, like the
Yep.
fun parts, but the vast
Yep.
majority is like, okay, I can
That's fair as well.
Right.
leave without it.
And
you know?
and I told Latasha this when we were watching it.
Who's Latasha again?
Latasha? She my lady friend.
She's your lady. Okay.
She's a brick
House.
house.
Call back to 2003 House of a Thousand Corpses, but I thought I
Yeah.
was your lady.
No, you're my man.
Oh, okay.
You're his fish boy. Another callback to.
But no, like this movie. What I told Latasha is like this movie, and maybe it's because my mom got me fucking watching all these slasher movies.
Shout out to Dylan's mom again. I love you.
Again, okay, thanks, mommy. Is like she got me watching these movies like at a very young age.
Yeah.
And so I was very desensitized from this type of horror movie.
Yeah, bro. I saw
it's
The
not
Exorcist at
scary.
the age of like 10.
Right.
Like,
God,
I mean,
you guys got started young.
there are movies that do scare me, but this genre of horror movie, not scared.
No. And I don't think you go see these movies to get scared. I think you go to.
I think some people do.
Well, I think you go see these movies to be like, oh fuck,
Body
like he just cut
counts
that bro in
and-
half.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, he just shoved his knives up that woman's
And
nose.
I'm not going to say that we're in the majority or the minority
Right.
feeling that way,
Yeah.
but not everybody.
And that's fair. That's fair. I bet
Just
you
like
Molly
Nebraska,
would watch this
it's
instead of
not
jump
for
scares.
everyone.
It's not
Yeah.
for that should be the slogan. So I
It
guess
is.
no one gives a shit, but I'll get my
So
rankings on it.
at Fright Night, how many of those scenes are we going to reenact as Freddy and Jason?
Every single one. Can you
Fuck
treat me
yeah.
can you treat me as a pinball machine? Please.
Baby,
Baby.
why wouldn't I?
Boy, yeah.
It's gonna cost extra.
Yeah, no.
I'll just play some gravity blasts while that happens.
perfect.
Ooh.
Yeah, if I'm able to shove your hand through your own back, that's the night's a success.
Shove it up my ass.
Shove it in my ass. So, my ranking, I guess, it's. I thought I was going to be the lowest ranking, but Josh took it from me. I gave it a 3.5 out of 10, which is to date the lowest ranking that I've given a film since starting after the credits.
Wow.
I've not given an a
It
lower.
is. That is the
I
lowest.
feel like that's a very fair rating though.
Yeah,
I thought
and-
my rating was less.
Right.
It was
No,
a 2.
Did you get well? So, but you because did you say you're
All
when
right,
you were
so are we
younger-
gonna like average it?
We could do
It's
averages.
5.7 and 2 average that, and it's like a
3.4?
3 point something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
like
like that.
3.7
Yeah,
or
close.
something.
Yeah, close.
I know.
Yeah.
In short, folks,
3.1415.
what do I recommend watching it? Yeah, I
Yeah,
recommend
oh, yeah,
watching
check
it.
If
Are you
I
gonna buy
recommend-
it?
I recommend watching it if it's free on streaming or showing
Yeah.
up on
Right.
cable.
Which it's not.
If you got to,
It's not.
I
That's
owe
right.
you,
Josh
I owe
found
you
that out.
$3.99
You're all right,
for this
you're all right.
fucking movie. But so the movie was a struggle to get through, in my opinion. Like I originally, and when I was a child, when I was a child, I saw this movie and I was stoked because I was like, oh, it's being advertised as Freddy versus fucking Jason. There's no way this could be bad. Boy, was I disappointed.
Were you disappointed as a child?
And no, I wasn't.
Exactly.
So, but it had so much potential, and I also remember as a child, 13 years old, I remember watching this and being like, oh, I was kind of expecting like a little bit more of like them two facing off against each other, which we got a pretty epic battle towards the end. But I remember enjoying it when I was 13.
I think a better title would be Freddy eventually faces or eventually versus Jason.
At some point versus Jason.
Because
Yeah.
I too had that same kind of like inkling. Is
Freddy
like, okay,
might-
this is going to be a lot of fighting
Yeah.
between the two of them.
Same.
And like
Yeah.
the fighting scenes were cool, but they were so minimal that the rest
Look,
of
it was high
the
school-
rest of the backstory kind of took away from it. So.
It was
And
it was
how
high
it-
school bullshit of like Freddy versus Jason in the sense of like Freddy was getting pissy that Jason was stealing all his kills, just like I was getting pissy that all of the other guys were stealing all my dates.
Yeah.
yeah.
In the same.
I like how you say
You
that
could
as
really-
if you were gonna get the dates.
You could really.
Dude,
ooh.
I couldn't get a date. I couldn't get a date if my life depended on it.
So you could
I
really
could get
relate
you
to
a
Freddy
date.
Krueger.
If it hasn't
Dude,
been
I
made
related to
clear
the
why
nerd.
the
Sweater.
single
He's
ladies.
got the sweater.
All
But yeah,
the
I
single
mean-
And the
ladies,
fedora.
all the single ladies.
I mean, unfortunately,
they'll stay that way
Destiny's
with
Child.
me.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, this movie doesn't hold up at all. Like, it's not even something that I'm like, oh, I'll watch it like around Halloween, like around the fall season. It's just not something that I want to revisit again after revisiting it now. And to be honest, I was pumped. I was like, let's do Freddy vs. fucking Jason. It's gonna be sick. I'm gonna rewatch this and I'm gonna fucking enjoy it. And I rewatched it. And your boy was sad.
Oh no.
I was like, oh, what did we do? And then, like, because I was messaging you and Dylan throughout, and I'm like, guys, I forgot how fucking bad this movie is.
Did
Like,
you need some Hypnocell?
I needed some Hypnocell. We didn't bring that up. Yeah, I needed some Hypnocell to get through this.
That's a plot point.
What I'll end with is I would love a remake with a better cast. I would love a remake with a better cast and with a better storyline and updated effects and more brutality. Like
Yeah.
I would love
Yeah.
that. But Having said that, again, I appreciate you guys coming out. I appreciate you joining us for Freddy vs. Jason. It was a good fucking
Thanks for
time.
having us.
You're welcome.
Love you, buddy.
Stay tuned. We're gonna do another episode with another kind of clowny, creepy character. Fucking stay tuned. So, yeah.
What is it?
What is it? Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Love you all. Talk to you later. Bye.
See Fright Night 7.
Synergy Nation Network Podcast. Shows for those with passion. Visit us online at sidnation.net.
Oh, Fright Night 7. Go see that.